Hey there, welcome everyone. Hi there. Um, it is 1 minute left to the start of our software development webinar. So I've just started and hope everything works okay. I see there are tons of people online here. I know that so many of you registered. I'm pretty nervous about that. I think that's the biggest amount of users who ever signed on our webinar. So I hope sincerely you won't be disappointed, but sorry in advance. So I think I don't have too much things to tell you right now. So I think I'll start sharing my screen and we will start with the agenda and probably even my introduction. I won't skip this part. So, hi from Prague. Hi, Piotr. Okay, I hope you see my screen. So, my name is Polina. In Fibri, I'm in charge of customer love, support, success, and all that stuff. And if someday you'll have any questions, you will go to this button, chat with support. I will be one of the persons who is waiting for you there. Other two persons are our CEO and our solution architect. So please don't hesitate to ping us anytime you have any question or just need some kind of support, maybe moral one, who knows. So this webinar will take roughly from 35 to 40 minutes. I hope so. My timer told we will be okay with that. And we will have 5 small parts. So we will have we'll talk just a little bit about high-level planning. We will dive deeper into Scrum. We will run really quickly through the retrospective process. We will have a quick overview of other powerful features that can be helpful for you and your teammates, and we will focus on answering your questions. So I know that in advance, some of you already shared a couple of use cases here, like connecting software development to customer feedback or time tracking part. So we will definitely dive into those processes as well after the main part will be over. Oh my God, hi from Ireland. Awesome, my God. So many of you. So at any point of the webinar, you can ask any questions you like. So there is a comments window. I hope it's on the right. And after the webinar, I'll make a pause and we'll answer all the questions that you have. So main part is about 35 and 40 minutes. And then there's unlimited comments part. This webinar will be recorded. We will send you the recording to your email and we'll also upload it to our YouTube channel. Yes, we have a YouTube channel. There you can also find all the other webinars. And also in the email and under the YouTube channel video, you will receive a list of helpful articles and guides, all our education materials that will be mentioned during this webinar, because during the webinar, we will focus not on how to build it, but more on how to use it and which value can I gain. So I think that's probably it. Let's get it started. So I think it's time for another introduction. So whom will we imitate today? Whom will we cosplaying? So during this webinar, I will imagine myself as a development team in a product company. Of course, in a product company. We are big enough to have 2 smaller teams, aka squads. So we'll check how to dive work, how to handle team management as well. We will use the Scrum framework. Well, somehow the Scrum framework. So each of our teams will have sprints, estimations, stories, bugs, story points, and we'll also have releases. We also use GitLab. And that's a secret, but we're in love with Jira. So yeah, we were together with Jira for many years. Every time developer joins our team, he knows how the Jira works. The problem is that only software development team loves Jira and no one else can use it for any other purpose like user research, product management, customer feedback, and etc. And this is why our CTO and product guy told us that we have to give Fiber a chance. And we decided to see whether it can work for us. Why Fiber? Tell the truth, we don't know. They tell us something about like flexible domain and I don't know, knowledge management, all-in-one tool, mediocre at everything. So if you have any questions, why is Fiber nice for product teams? We also have another webinar about this on our YouTube channel, so feel free to dive deeper on that. And let's see what Fiber can do. So what does Fiber promise us? Let's check it out. So they promise to connect project management and software development. Like we won't leave alone, we will be able to connect our execution part to the planning. Well, it's great to understand what you're working on, but I have strong doubts that it will be an aha moment or a killing feature. Flexible data structure, epics are epics, bugs are bugs, stories are stories, they are not issue types. Well, that sounds interesting, but it doesn't sound as a killer feature right now at the moment too. No, sexy but not enough. And nothing is hard-coded, so custom JavaScript rules, public API, GraphQL API, out-of-the-box integrations. Okay, that sounds probably a bit better, just because that gives me some power. Probably I was missing in Jira. Who knows? Okay, and there is also a brief explanation. So we have a feature. Feature is divided into stories. Story may have bugs. Well, they don't believe in us. Okay, there are also sprints and releases. Okay, that sounds pretty similar. Let's go and check how our internal process looks like. So looks like we have a feature, right? Features only, and this is an area of our product guys. So we don't dive deep into that except on the kickstarts. Then features are grouped into stories. We assume that this is also a product guy's work. Hope so, at least. Then we have, so then it goes to the software development team part. We have to assign stories to the specific teams, right? Because we are the best one who knows where the team power is. Then we have to plan which stories has to be released. So probably we do this together with the product team because they know what our users are expecting from us, and we can understand what can be really delivered. After that is planned, we have to plan a couple of sprints. So each of the teammates have their own sprints and their personal execution part. And we just assign stories, unfortunately bugs, to the sprint coming. So I hope that this process looks okay for you. So let's go to the product management part and see how it goes. So we have two products right now we're working on. This is iOS and web. And each of it has its own work by feature, right? It own has the work to do. But this is a part of the product management. We don't care about this at the moment because that is something that is already done by our colleagues from the product team. So let's see what have they prepared. Okay, we are working on native service in the app. Okay, nice. I can open it and see the whole specification with explanation with some of my not so weird comments because it's a collaborative doc, so I don't have to switch between Fiber and Confluence or Google Docs or whatever it is, and can comment whether I like something or not. Okay, that looks good. I can also open any feature and see which stories, no bugs, hooray, it has inside. Okay, that's nice. What else do I see? Okay, I see tons of stories. I can open any of the stories. Oh, it also has some descriptions inside. That's nice. I can also also comment not only part of the text but the story too. So let's give some kudos to my product lady Anastasia. That thanks. That's cool. She'll receive a notification for sure. Thank you. That is cool. Things gotta have Grammarly. Okay, so in fact, everything is pretty clear. What is expected, what has to be done, and most likely I also was on the Kickstart where we discussed that. So all the product management artifacts are here already. Okay, I like it. So let's go and plan some releases, I think. So what of this is going to appear in the next release? So I navigated first to the release table and see which releases do we have. Okay, so the next one is going on December and the next one will be on January. Okay, everybody knows that we're super productive in December and January. There are only Christmas and New Year's Eve, so our productivity rises a lot. Okay, nothing is planned so far, so let's go and plan it. For that, we have our releases planning board. Oh my God, there is such a mess. I see everything here. No. Let's filter it. So I want to see only something that is not done. Okay, I want this filter to be global, so all of my teammates had the same contacts. Okay, so what has to be delivered and when? Here I see a list both of my bugs and stories. Let's make them a bit more visible. So this one I doesn't like, and oh no, database page. Okay, so let's making fun as a programmer. Oh, that is tested already, so probably it will go to the next release. Okay, some bugs will be done later. Use security parameters sounds pretty nice. Oh my God, I also see the planet effort here and here. Cool, I don't have even to open the release to calculate that. Interesting. Can we also show here the whole capacity of the release? So we were sure that we haven't reached that. Let's go. Do we have it here? Planet capacity. Oh, no, we only have a planet effort. Okay, that's enough for me then. Sharing the form usage is ready for QA can be also done with the release. Okay, let's just drag and drop it like this. For sure, this could be a big planning session with my teammates someday, but right now, let's just make it work like this. Okay, now probably I see that almost everywhere, I see that team that is assigned to this release planning, and let's assign other teams to the stories that doesn't have a team right now on the release planning session, because why not? So this will go for the team alpha. This goes for the team alpha. Oh, I like my developers so much. They were so prepared because they even put the estimated effort here, and I don't have to change it and don't have to do something about this. So team lambda, as I see, is already prepared somehow, so everything else goes to the team alpha. Okay, that was fast. We just planned that on the release planning board. Okay, I don't agree here with this description. To plan stories and bugs. No. Okay. Yeah, we can add views description to make this more clear for the teammates. Okay, so are we done here? I hope so. Now all the stories have no sprints, and probably it's time to plan some sprints. That will happen in the development part. So let's open it. And here we have a folder with teams on the left. I see team alpha and team lambda on the left. And my planning session will be separate. There will be two separate sessions, one for team alpha and another one for team lambda. So let's check which future and current sprints do we have for team alpha. So we have sprint 2 and sprint 3. Oh my God, something is completed already. I think that's not true, but okay, we'll check it out. All of them are future ones. They haven't started already. So we don't have to add a new sprint right now. Maybe we will even make it an automation that will generate a sprint, a new sprint once 2 weeks. So I don't want to have any manual work here. Let's go to the sprint planning part. Okay, so what I see here, as you remember, on the previous release planning session, we assigned a couple of stories to different teams. So here I see only those stories that are assigned to Team Alpha, and Team Lambda has the same board with the future sprints and with the stories they has to finish. Okay, so right now I see here the capacity that we have for this sprint. We can change it anytime, and capacity left. And when I drag and drop the card, I think everything will be finished in the sprint. Here, this recalculates. So it just grabs the whole capacity. It also grabs the whole stories that has to be finished. And we have 5 story points left, but I think that only means that once there will be a bug found, we will be able to fix it during this sprint. So it's okay for us to leave some points behind. And nothing will be planned for sprint 3. We'll plan it next time. As for the Team Lambda, let's just drag and drop some cards here. Thanks God, everything has medium priority, so we don't care a lot. No, I misclicked, sorry. Okay. Capacity left, 4 story points. Yes, we have some capacity for their pop bugs to fix. Okay, sprint planning session is over. I wish you everyone have as fast sprint planning as I have right now on the webinar. So let's repeat one more time. We checked out which features are ready. And when I say which features are ready, I mean which features are ready from the product management part. They are already divided into some execution parts like stories and bugs, almost no bugs already. Then we planned which of them has to be released soon on the release planning session and board. And then we went to the sprint planning part and planned all the work to do by the sprint, by the team this story or bug belonged to. Now it's time to work, finally, after all these planning sessions. And every team has a workboard here. So workbook here shows us bugs and stories for all the sprints that are not passed. So this one I made filter for the webinar because all of our sprints are future, but you can always set a filter sprint status is current, and it will show you only the work that you have to do now. Okay, so this is the work that has to be done by Team Alpha. And Team Lambda also has the same workboard. So looks like they have a bit more things to do because Team Alpha has some even tested stories. But as we remember, if the story was not done, it goes automatically to the next sprint. Okay. It is nice to have an overview on the team level, but let's say I'm a developer and I don't care about of course I care about the workboard, but for me it is more important to have my own personal board where I could check only my stories, only my bugs that I have to fix. So to focus on my part of the work, but also be possible to check out everything. So let's assign me to a couple of other stories. Okay, like this. And now I have 3 stories and I want to see them only. What do? I click here and no, I don't click here. Let's create it from scratch. So there is a MySpace here. And what can I do? I can create a board in MySpace. It will be seen by me only. No one else will have access to it. And I will say that I want to have access. I want to see stories and also want to see bugs. So here I can create, I can choose as many databases as I want. If, for example, I also want to see something else except stories and bugs here, that will be okay. I want to see them by state. And I also want to turn the filter assignees contains me. Okay, that's it. And what I see, here I see everything that I'm assigned to across everything. And here I can also choose what is more relevant for me. So I don't care about the effort because I remember that, but I need to see the priority from the first glance. I prefer to see the sprint and release, but sprint status, state, team, and all the stuff is not relevant for me. So that is my board, and I call it my work to do. So any of your teammates, any of my teammates can use something pre-configured by the admin, or if they don't like it but prefer not to ruin someone's work, that is what we call respect, can build the personal view I'm familiar with, they are familiar with. Okay, and I can even choose how big the card can be. Maybe this one works better for me because someday I'll have a bigger screen. Okay, so what is next? Finally, when all the no, that's not, sorry, we cannot go to the execution part just because we have two other views, because probably product guys, they don't care a lot about the productivity of every team. They more care about what will be released, when, and how everything is going on right now. So then they will have the view that is called all work planned. Here we can see all the stories and all the bugs from multiple sprints from every team by its status. And if we want to understand a bit more by team, so, okay, these ones are unassigned still. This one is a work of the team Alpha, and this one is a work of team Lambda. So probably this view makes sense for me. Okay, and now finally the planning part is over and we go to the execution part. And execution part most likely will be in GitLab, GitHub, or Bitbucket, because we're a development team, not a product one. So we have an integration. So right now I will stop cosplaying development team, and I will tell you a bit more as Polina about our integrations. So in Fibre, there are tons of integrations. You can find them in templates, in the integrations section. There all of them are. Or you can just navigate to any of the space you have access to, and there is an integrate button here as well. And here you will also see all the integrations we have. When we sync the data from GitLab, GitHub, or any other tool, we sync all the data in one way. So I cannot, but there will be some exclusions, we'll talk about them a bit later. And we sync the data we have access to. So here I can sync only something I have access to. If I don't have access, I won't be able to sync it for sure. So please keep noted about that. And we sync all the data with all the relations. So that was designed by other tools. So here our project may have multiple branches, commits, and merge requests. And for example, branch may have a project, merge requests, and in our case, it also has stories. This connection was created manually by me. So we sync the data the way it was designed by another tool. All this data is read-only one, so I cannot change anything here because we have to keep consistent data, right? If something was done in the GitLab, it will be updated in Fibre as well. But I cannot rename the branch here, and it will not send the information to the GitLab. I can also decide how often do I want to sync the data from GitLab. So by default, the frequency is manual, but you can change it up to every 60 minutes. And you can also even keep, so if you deleted something in the GitLab, it can stay in Fibre or may not. And you can always disable the integration, force the full sync. Okay, that's absolutely up to you. The same works for the GitHub sync. So here the structure will be a bit different, as you see, right? So we just grab the data from external tool to Fibre. Okay, hope that is clear. And now we go to the most cool part from my point of view. So when we get the data from GitLab, we can connect it to the data in Fibre the way we prefer. I had a call with some of our developers in Fiber and asked them. So I'm sorry in advance if your framework doesn't look like this. But in our webinar, we will assume that when I have a story and I'm working on a specific story, for every story, I will create a branch in GitLab. So my story is a branch. It can be different. It can be one story can be a commit, one story can be a merge request, but we say that one story is a branch. And when I start working on a story in Fiber, I just want to track whether the story is ready based on the data that is synced from GitLab. What do I want to avoid? I want to avoid that there is a story in Fiber, then I go and have to manually create a story in a branch in GitLab. Then I have to have a link of the GitLab into story. So I want to avoid this manual part. In this case, we have a relation between branch and story. It is one-on-one. One story is one branch. And then comes a magic part. So which one do I want to show you? Let's open any of the stories we have. I prefer to open stories from search just because that's the way I prefer. So set default fields value inform view. Okay, I have the story. And here I have 4 buttons. They were pre-configured before. So you can check them. How do they look like? We use here Fiber automations. They are super simple. When the button is clicked, create a branch. You can configure that on your own. And when I click on that, create a branch, I have to choose the GitLab account and use and put the branch name here. So let it be set dev fields. Okay. I run it in Fiber. And it tells me that GitLab create branch is completed. Is it true? So usually GitLab syncs data once 60 minutes. That's not enough for us to try. So I will sync it manually just to check whether everything worked correctly. I hope it was. So there is not so much data, so the sync won't take a lot of time. Okay. Hooray! Yes, the branch in the GitLab was created successfully, and it was also synced into Fiber. And now, if I open the story here, because of the relation, I can choose this story and say which branch this story is about. Right now, I did that manually, just as an example. But if there is a key, you can make them connect automatically. So let me show it to you how it will work. So when you create a relation between story and, for example, merge request, or whatever, or it is a branch, there is a thing that is called automatically link stories to merge requests. And if some of the fields, for example, if the public ID of the story is the same as public ID of merge request, link them. So you define by which criteria do you want automatically to link stories. So in the perfect world, if it is not webinar, I click on the GitLab create branch button, and soon the branch appears here automatically. And as you see, there is also a very nice checkbox that is called branch merged. I cannot change it manually because it's an integration formula. It grabs this information from the branch synced. So when the branch is merged in GitLab, it will grab the information into Fiber and then will update here my story automatically. And based on information in the GitLab, I can create some nice actions or automations in Fiber. Which one? For example, I can... Oh, Paulina, you already prepared everything for the webinar. So nice. For example, I can notify QA that the story is ready for testing. So I just created an automation rule that when the branch is merged in GitLab, remember, right? Then notify users, notify Anastasia, who is a tester, and she'll receive notification that story is ready for testing in her notifications feed here. And if you want, she will also receive it in email, in Slack, or in any other tool you prefer, because we have a public API, so you can connect Fiber to any other tool. As you see, there are tons of other buttons. So GitLab create merge request, create branch. The same works for the GitHub create branch or create pull request. So all the actions are possible. And in the document that will be shared with you after the webinar, everywhere, I prepared some guides, so a list of guides. So you can check how the integration works and how the actions work as well. So don't worry if something was not clear here, but I really believe it was okay, because maybe I didn't have even dive into such details. Okay, so what are we doing now? So I hope that everything works the same for the GitHub, and from the Bitbucket we can also sync all the data. Okay. What else do we have right now? Let's repeat probably one more time. So we are developers. We have features. Features are already prepared by the product guys. We have stories that are also prepared by the product guys. All the information, all the context is already done, so we don't have to care about that. Then we go to the common release planning session. We define which functionality has to be released during which release. Then we go to the development planning session, so many planning for such small teams. We go to the sprint planning session and decide what has to be delivered next. After that, we have my work to do board everyone has and likes. And we have an integration with GitLab or GitHub or Bitbucket. And once we are working on something, we just click a couple of buttons, so the data was synced. At any point, we have the whole overview. And if we are missing something, there are tons of cool automations that we can configure manually. Now, let's say that the sprint is over. So just assume that everything is done, but not everything. So the sprint was over, but only 2 stories out of 4 planet are ready. All the others, one is in progress, another one is ready for QA. And what we need to move these stories to the next sprint, because we cannot say that they are ready. Don't want to do this manually for sure. I can, but I don't want to. So what can I do? I can open the sprint we're working on right now, and there is a button, move all undone stories to the next sprint. Again, this is a no code button, no coding required. I click on it. Oh my God. I'm always worried so much that everything has to work, because it worked nicely when I was testing this webinar, but if something can go wrong, it will go wrong during the demo or during the webinar that has to be recorded. Just like now. Maybe the refresh will help. Maybe have some connection problems. Oh, yes. Oh, hooray, it worked. Probably just had a connection gap. So stories disappeared from here. And if I open the sprint 3, which is the next one, I see those 2 undone stories here. So I think that is nice to have. And probably this is something that every good tool has to have. But we are not alone, we have it. I also had the question about reports. So that is cool to have burn down and burn up charts. The problem is during the webinar that burn down and burn up are really historical charts. So they track when the feature or when the story was moved between states. And this is why if we will build the burn down or burn up chart during the webinar, it will make no sense at all. So let me share with you a couple of reports we have. We use Fiber for Fiber. I hope it's not a secret. We use it for software development as well. We don't have burn up or burn down charts because we don't use sprints, but we have a feature CFD chart. So this is how it looks like. So it depicts the quantity of entities in a given state, showing arrivals, time, quantity, and that's it. And also in the documents that I prepared for you and that will be shared to read. So there are also, yes, charts and reports, guide step by step how to create them, the example, and that is definitely possible. The same works that you can track how many bugs were created by month. So which one is the busiest day? So this is, for example, our real stats. Okay, September was quite a busy day, quite a busy month, and August was as well, and October is really small one. You can track open bugs by assignee. So you can track how many bugs each of your teammates has. Oh, no. Sorry, I just misclicked it. Okay. Okay, so again, this is some data that we have in Fibry. So we see that our QA tester has the biggest amount of bugs. Many bugs are assigned to no one, then runs Sergey, who is really responsible, and I have only 3 bugs on me, which is weird because I'm not a developer, but probably my team believes in me. So do I. So maybe someday they will be closed and fixed. And open bugs by product area. So this is just different kind of visualizations we use on our own. So for example, most of the bugs are in documents on the whiteboard view, and we can also check how many of them were reported by customers. So here we have 89 bugs in whiteboard view, and 44 of them were requested by customers. Probably we have to focus our whiteboard view finally, but who knows? Let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay, so we've done our work. Everything is perfect. And it's time to run retrospectives. So retrospectives are also per team. Each of the teams have their own retrospectives, and we can just check what was decided. So we have a retrospective, and that the action item was to buy a coffee machine to improve performance. I think that's the perfect one. I can always check the retrospective. I can check what we learned, what went wrong, what went right, and check when the last retrospective was. It was in May, so probably too long ago. We have to learn something one more time. As for the Team Lambda, do not wait. Well, you may check which framework do you prefer, Team Alpha or Team Lambda. I think that's it for the main part. Without what I prepared for you, it was faster even than I planned it to be, but nope, 37 minutes, just as I promised, something between 30 and 40 minutes. So everything goes according to the plan. Yes. Let's answer a couple of questions. So I will go from the latest one to the first one, because first 3 are particular cases that we will run through today as well. So we joined late. Any chance we can get a video recording later? Definitely, it will be sent to you via email, and the video will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. Cool automation. Thank you, Marta. By the way, in terms of automation, there is also a guide that is called Automations for Software Development. And let me open it for you just to have an overview. Okay. So how it looks like. So, yep, here are all the cases that I covered with this wonderful, of course it is wonderful because I'm an author, with this wonderful guide. So you can create sprint automatically, mark sprints as done when all the work assigned to the sprint is done, change bugs and stores priorities based on the due date coming or based on the number of complaints, assign QA when the bug is ready for testing, when the feature is ready, set all stories and bugs as done, split iterations as we did on the webinar, and document templates and default descriptions for bugs. That is all possible, and we didn't dive deep into that just because it will take us really a lot of time, but the guide is ready for that. So can I add tasks hidden from others? I'm afraid there is no way to do that, to have those nice cards, because we assume that everyone has to have access to the other's work. But you can create a document and call it, for example, my tasks to do. And if there is a quick ones, you can just put a checklist, like, please do something about the webinar, Paulina. Something like this, and mark them as completed. But if you want to have the states, ability to assign, to put the effort, then probably it has to be in the common backlog. So, congrats with adopting GitLab. Thank you. Oh my God, from Sweden, from New York, from Georgia, we have so many guys all over the world. That's really like, I'm so happy to read that. So so we will dive into two cases that were shared before the beginning of the webinar. And then I will answer the questions that we have in the Ask a Question button. So reports that show development progress. Unfortunately, I cannot share with you historical charts as I mentioned, but I shared with you some ready-to-go reports. Time tracking. So time tracking is a nice question. Let's run quickly through it. Yes, you can track time in February. We also have an article about this, but let's see how it goes. So most likely you want to track the time spent on the story level or on the bug level. So if the story points is not enough, you want to track with hours, then you can add, there are two ways. The first way is super simple. You add a new field, it's a number one, and you call it hours spent, or anything you prefer. And unit will be hours. And ta-da! You open a story, and there is this field. And you can put that I spent here 5 hours. Am I good? Yeah, I'm good. If you're kind of a software development agency and you need to track, like, there can be many people who are working on this story. They can be handled like across the week. So you have to understand that today I spent here 2 hours, yesterday 5 hours, and today it was me, and yesterday it was my colleague. In this case, probably this field will be not enough. And do I have something here? No. Let's create a new database that will be called timelog. Okay, so timelog will have the number, time spent with hours. Okay, it will also have a user, the one who is adding the time log, and the user will be only one. So if there were 2 people working on this story, there will be 2 different time logs. So the relation is like this. It can be auto-populated automatically based on the creator, but we will put it manually right now just in case. And the date. So we have to understand the date this time log is about. And now on the story level, let's connect stories and time logs. I say that on the story there can be many time logs, and time log may have only one story. And software development webinars. So let's create one more automation. I want to create a new button that will be called add a new time log. And what do I want this button to do? I want it to add time log item. And what I need to be auto-populate. I want ask user to put the time spent. I want him to put the date when this time was spent and to put his name. Okay, I save the button. I open the story. Here is the button. By the way, we can just hide the fields we don't need right now for them not to confuse us. Okay, I add a new time log. I spent 5 hours yesterday, and it's me. So this part is optional. It can be auto-populated. We use it just as an example. Okay, has to work, and the time log appeared. I don't need the name. We can set it as a formula later. I want to show the avatar of the user, the date, and the time spent. Okay, maybe just not even the avatar, but assignees of the user. Okay, so Paulina spent 5 hours on November 9th. And then we can create a formula on the story level that it will be spent on story. So that goes for time logs, summarize amount of time spent. Okay. Yeah, we have powerful formulas, by the way. Spent on a story is 5 hours, and I can go even further. I can create a feature, and on the feature level, I can also create a formula. Where is my formulas? Okay, there they are. Please go to stories and summarize there. Hours spent. Okay. We call it this as well, hours spent. Okay. So now I have, no, why is it 0? Sorry, the name of the field was different. Probably that's the manual one we created. Prompt doesn't works good. How was this field called? Spent on story. Yep, that's the field we had to calculate. Okay. Spent on story. Okay. Okay. And you can always put the description of the field here. How is everything calculated? And then when you have already this data in Fabry, you can visualize it in a nice way. Create reports, nice cool tables, share them with customers, and etc. Work for different teams. Done. How do you manage all the hypotheses and the testing around those hypotheses? So, tell the truth, I failed to find the answer for this question because on our own, we don't manage hypotheses. Yes, we know that in product management, there can be assumptions or hypotheses, but they are about the product management. So probably they are not the part of this webinar, and they are about the user research. So when we have an assumption, then we test when we have research among our customers or users, whether we are right or wrong, then we create an MVP and test it out. So I think this was somehow covered in our previous webinars, so we will not focus on that right now. And I want to see how to sort through user feedback, how to fix the software development team. So we have to run through this case because it's also one of my most favorite cases. I even pre-installed a customer feedback space. It was hidden. Yes, we have hidden spaces. And let's assume that our case is like this. So we collect feedback. We collect feedback from Intercom or from Discourse, that is our community, or we can even now collect the feedback through forms. Yep, in experimental features, we have form view, but that's a secret, that's better. And we ask our customers or users if they find a bug or they are missing the functionality, but most likely when they find a bug, report us by applying the form or in chats or somewhere else. So let's skip that part where we explain how to sync the data from external sources into Fabry, and let's assume that this had happened. And now we have two chats as a result. I opened the chat with Paulina, and Paulina mentioned to me the feedback that she cannot connect to Google Analytics. It shows error all the time. And I understand that this is most likely a bug, right? So what can I do in Fabry? I can highlight this piece of text and link it to the bug. Let's look whether you have such a bug already. Google Analytics. Looks like we don't have any bugs about Google Analytics. So let's create it. Can't connect to Google Analytics. And I create the bug out of the text. And I can navigate to it. There is already a template for me here. So what do I have to do to make this bug working? So I have to choose steps to reproduce, current result, expected result. Probably that's the work for QA. So I said that this is for team alpha. And this goes for not Paulina. No, please, not Paulina. For Anastasia. Okay. And that's it. So my work as a customer success here is done. Now this bug appeared in the development. So all work planned. No, I want work by team maybe. Okay, let's create a new view to definitely find it. Please show us all the bugs by state. Yes, can't connect to Google Analytics. We had just before tons of filters, probably. This is why it was not filters. And that we'll call bugs to fix. Okay. And now I want to see how many requests from customers do you have about every bug. So because based on that, I will prioritize them. So let's create a new formula that is called a number of complaints. And I go, please go to the references. References, in fact, that is something that appeared on the bug that after we created that, and just count it. How many of them do we have? Okay. Okay, now we have only one complaint here. Okay, and we can show it here already, references count. And we can sort by number of complaints, descending, I think. Okay, now we can go again to our customer feedback part. And here we have a chat with Kate, and that is a big showstopper for her as well. So right now we highlight this piece of text again and link it, but we link it to the already existing bug. So we search for it one more time, and that's it. We link it, okay? Then we open the bug. We wait a little bit. Maybe we refresh the page, who knows? Yes, and we see that it has two references. And when the QA will start reproducing this bug, they will see that all the context that customer provided to us, for sure, right now there is not a lot, but most likely they shared some details, and the context here is saved. And also there is a formula that recalculated. And now you can check which bugs are urgent to fix. And once the bug is done, so let's assume that we did it out of releases and out of sprints, just fix it because we are awesome. Your customer feedback team can navigate to the chat and can inform the Kate that, hi Kate, the bug you reported about is done. This is the way we connect those processes. Okay, so, oh my God, we have many other questions, 7 of them, crazy. So let's go to the questions and answers we have in the box, and then we'll go to the comment section. Is there any short ideas of the stories and features which may be used to link SCM comments and Fibre artifacts? Definitely. So as you see, right now I have a bug right here, and it is number 4. So every card has a unique public ID that is unique on the database level. So there is also a story under number 4. And if you click here, this direct URL to this bug is copied. So you don't have to copy paste the link out of the website, but you can copy direct link to the bug. That helps, for example, if there was a view in your favorites and you open a screen and you open the story from here. If I will copy paste the URL from the I don't remember how it is called in English. So from the website, the URL will look like this. So you see, it shows also the way. But if I open the direct one, it's a bit nicer. Okay. And I said someone answered that, but I just wanted to speak it loud and show you. Thank you so much for announcing demo. Oh, thank you. How might you go about creating recurring or routine task records in Fibre? Absolutely, that is possible already. There is also a guide about that, and it's all about automations. So if you have a story that has to appear every week, or there is a sprint that has to appear every 2 weeks, you decide, okay, you go to the story, then you go to the automations part, and you create a role that is called create story every week. So when it has to be on a schedule every week, every Monday, you have to add, create new story, and every week you create a story that is called weekly story. And that's it. So as it is an automation and it is can be a variable one, you can check again our guide where let's probably find it right now. Why not? Navigate our guide. Let's find it. Recurring rules. Okay, there is a recurring rules, but maybe we have something about repetitive process. Repetitive. Oh my god. No, repeat. Template. Yes, repetitive. I just cannot spell it correctly. So, yep, we have a guide how to create repetitive processes. So, as you see, there are multiple ways and they are already possible. They are already with automations. Unfortunately, we don't have right now out of the box with one click, but good news that it is still possible. Okay. Is Fiber looking at other tools for inspirations? Linear, for example, has nice workflow, but could not allocate our non-software dev workflow. Still something to inspire from. Yes, we absolutely do. And in fact, your feedback will be saved. I think that I will show you even on our workspace that we have here. So I can open a Linear card as our competitor, and there you can find all the feedback that we had from our customers or from our personal documents about the specific competitor. So we definitely do our best to collect the information, get inspired, but you're the only one. In fact, when I say you, I mean you as a customer, as a user, can tell us what do you like about other tools, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to copy everything. So if there is a specific part about Linear that you like and you want to see it in Fiber, don't hesitate to share it with us in the intercom or in community, or in fact anywhere. Don't hesitate to be harsh. Any feedback about the tool you like, no matter whether it is a Fiber competitor or not. We have a lot of feedback, for example, about Chrome Research, about Obsidian, about Intercom. So if you think that Fiber can help you here and you like the behavior in another tool, share it with us. I will honestly tell you whether we have such thing in the backlog, when most likely it will be delivered, like not this year, or maybe next year, or maybe never, or maybe soon. Your request will be noted, and once the feature is done, because we use these billings for ourselves as well, you will be notified. Okay. In GitLab, track time with the comments spent for hours. Are there any integrations with chat apps to track time with bot commands? We have integration with Slack, in fact, and if you have a time log here as a database, you can use our Slack bot, and you can create time logs out of Slack with a simple command of bot. That's not it. I don't think that we have any customers that use this opportunity, but this is possible. If you don't like Slack and you prefer, I don't know, Microsoft Teams or Telegram or something else, let us know, because Slack for now is the only collaboration tool we have direct integration with. For all the other cases, most likely you'll have to create your custom integration, but it will still work. So I hope our bot only handles vacations. That's not true. It only handles vacations for the Fiber team, because we configured that, but you can configure your own. Fiber has considered adding Discord as a partner to facilitate its integration into it. We have a feature in our backlog, Discord integration. So for now, I think that this is the main tool for game development companies. That is not our target companies at the moment, but we are collecting requests. Unfortunately, there are not so many of them, but if they will rise, the number of requests, I think that it is most likely that we will deliver it. But there is no further plans for that in the next, 1, 2, 3 months. There is no plans for that. Okay, how do you add the knowledge base after retrospective? Yes, Fiber is a knowledge base. You don't have to switch between Fiber and other tool like Notion, Google Docs, Confluence. So if you cannot store data in Fiber and you have to go to another tool, it will be great if you could tell us why. so we could improve ourselves, so we didn't have to do this. So Fabry is a tool mediocre at everything, and knowledge base is a part of everything, in fact. Okay. Okay. Oh my God, we have 2 questions here left, and we will go to the comments part. It seems that one many has to be reversed every time I create a connection. Yes, that's true. That's about performance. That has to be improved. We are still not perfect, so we'll fix that. Is there any way to estimate separately dev and QA efforts? Absolutely. So if you prefer to go with the time log, and here we have a user, right? User Paulina. You can add, I don't know, there are so many ways to handle that. It's a very stupid way. You can add a single select here. So you can call it team, whether it is a QA or dev. And this can be auto-populated based on the role of the user that you have. So this time log is from QA, and this one is from development. If you have that, if you don't like time logs and you want to track it directly on the story level just by putting hours spent, then again, you can put hours spent dev, or just add another field that is called hours spent. Okay. Okay, and that's it. So just the way you prefer. There can be more elegant ways, but they will take more time to configure at the moment, but will work better. But this is just 2 options. Okay, we are done with questions and answers in the main box, and we go to the comment part. Discord +1, Discord +1, Discord +1. Yes, after the webinar, I will put all the feedback you have here in comments to our system, and we'll share with product guys, and we'll note them all. So thank you for that. Fabry would benefit from pre-made flows like a pinot setup, and they'll allow users to branch off those. I think that's also possible. I'm not sure that I have right now enough context to set it up and show how it works, but I don't see any showstoppers from the first glance here. Great presentation, impressive. Oh, so much. It's really easy to do all kind of powerful stuff in Fabry. It's really easy to do once it is configured, because just for information, to prepare the workspace I shared with you, it took me about, just the configuration took me about 1.5 hours. To click everything, to install the templates, to put some dummy data. And for sure, for the creator, it will take more time. But to use it, that is super easy, because you have pre-made for your teammates, pre-made views, pre-made automations. If something is missing, you can add it on flow. So when someone puts the effort and the time in it, it works like a charm. But there has to be someone who is ready to put the effort here. But thank you so much. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Meow Meow from Oregon. Oh, hi, Matt. By the way, here's Matt. He's a champion, I think, in our community. There is a join our community button. If you're from software development team or just you're as geeky as we are, please check it out, because I think that our community is just one of the deepest I ever seen. And I try to track many communities of our competitors. And it's just really a pleasure once a week to guide, to run through all the themes that were risen and created by our wonderful users. Really, I'm so proud of our users. All of them I've seen and communicated with. That's a luck to have you guys, really. Microsoft Teams integration, I see. Okay, that will be noted. That's also in the backlog, and we also collect requests the same way as Discord. So please, if you have any feature in mind that you are missing in Fabry, please don't hesitate to give us your feedback, because if we don't hear that, we are not able to note that. How do release notes, custom notifications? Do you know, is there any customer that have connected Fabry integrations to the Microsoft Teams? I know that there were someone with a custom integrations. So if you click here and click on the button integrate, you can add custom app, and you can add your private custom integration. I know that some of our customers did that, but we don't have any access to your data. So unless our customer will decide to share the results of their work with everyone else, there is no way to work on that. But if it is a showstopper for you, or you just don't, if you're really struggling with that, please ping us an intercom and we can hop on a call and help you to connect the integration together. So this is a work we're ready to do for all of our paid customers to help to adapt Fibri with the development part as well. Is it a very easy way to generate a nice release note? Yes, I'm not sure what is a nice release note in your mind, but if I navigate here to the user guide, no. Okay, to the user guide, I have here a changelog, and here we have releases. So we have public releases and public roadmap as well. By the way, you can have it too. If you're a product company and you have a product public roadmap, you can handle that with Fibri as well. And you can open the release and check out what was released. If you think that this release is nice enough, in our community, in Show Your Space section, there is a full guide how to configure that in Fibri. I mean, changelog and public roadmap. There is always more bugs than it is visible. Absolutely. Okay, do we have any more? Yes, we have another question. How big is the Fibri team? Oh no, we don't have 200 people. We have a blog, we have a public blog, and here we have a startup diary. And every month we show all the details. By the way, this is Piotr. Right now he's in our comments section and he's head of business development right now. And then we have metrics, and we share with you all the metrics that we have: run rate, memorar, and team size. Right now there are 27 of us, including CEO and me as customer success and the marketing team. So I think that among developers there is about 20, but we are cool. This is why we have cool releases, and we are absolutely transparent about everything. Yes, and 2 designers, but 3 designers. 1 designer is a developer too, so he's like two-faced. Maybe landed the low-level design? I hope not. I hope not. But we have customers with more than 200 people team, so even more than 300 people team. So I hope that Fibri can work for teammates even bigger than we are. Oh my God, this webinar is already more than an hour. I hope it was helpful. If it was not, sorry, but I hope it was. If you will have, like, right now you don't have any questions, but I know how it works. Like tomorrow you'll say, oh my God, I forgot to ask that. Don't again hesitate to ping us here not here, wait, where it is. In the chat. I live there most time of my life when I'm not resting or playing with the cat. So please contact us, share with us the feedback, the questions you have, I don't know, anything. We're ready to talk, to discuss, and again, pretty open for almost every kind of communication. Thank you so much for being with us today, with me. I was really, it's amazing how many of you attended that. Deeply respect that, and hope that someday we'll have another webinar after the rest, after the recover, and maybe I'll see some of you as well one more time. So have a great day, great weekends, because they're slowly coming. It's almost Friday, and we know what it means. And that's it.